Welcome to CARICOMP Insider, where high-tech facial recognition meets real-world intelligence.
A US-based biometrics company just announced it's targeting 1 billion identity verifications in a single country, Nigeria, within the next couple of years. Not a million, not 100 million. 1 billion scans in one nation. That number matters whether you've spent your career in digital identity or you've never thought twice about scanning your face to unlock your phone. Because what's happening in Nigeria isn't happening in isolation. According to reporting from the Nation newspaper, Nigeria has set a deadline to issue at least 180 million digital IDs by the end of 2026. At the same time, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has rolled out facial matching exit gates to 32 airports, scanning more than 100 million passengers every year. And according to Mordor Intelligence, the global market for next-generation biometrics is expected to hit about $52 billion in 2026, growing at a pace that would push it past $137 billion by 2031. Biometric verification is no longer reserved for border crossings and high-security checkpoints. It's moving into banking, government cash transfers, farmer databases, and retail stores. So what happens when scanning your face becomes as routine as swiping a credit card? Start with Nigeria, because that's where the scale is most visible. The country's digital financial services ecosystem has exploded. Mobile banking, fintech apps, digital payment channels, all growing fast. That growth created a problem. Millions of people need verified identities to access those services, and traditional methods can't keep up. According to Identity.io, the company behind the billion scan target, their competitive edge is the ability to run complex biometric checks, including liveness detection and presentation attack detection, completely offline. No internet connection required. That matters in a country where connectivity is uneven and millions of potential users live in areas without reliable broadband. For investigators and compliance officers, offline capability changes the verification landscape entirely. For everyone else, it means the person standing in a rural village can prove who they are with the same confidence as someone in downtown Lagos. Now, the technology driving this shift isn't just faster face matching. It's something called passive liveness detection. That's when a system checks whether it's looking at a real human face, not a photo, not a mask, not a deepfake, without asking you to blink, turn your head, or follow any instructions. You just look at the camera. The system does the rest. According to data published by Identity.io, one real-world banking deployment that switched to passive liveness saw completion rates jump by about a third, reaching a 95% onboarding success rate. That's not a small improvement. It means nearly every person who started the identity check actually finished it. Before the switch, roughly 1 in 3 people dropped out. For a bank, that's revenue. For a person trying to open their first account, that's access to the financial system. Meanwhile, biometric market analysts project that the market for face-based liveness checks alone will more than double between 2025 and 2027. The growth isn't driven by governments mandating surveillance. It's driven by convenience. Workplace cafeterias are letting employees pay with a face scan. Retail stores and subscription services are replacing passwords and PINs with fingerprint or facial recognition. According to HID Global's 2026 Trends Report, Biometric authentication is shifting from something people think of as an advanced feature to something that feels more like a security guard standing quietly at every door. You barely notice it's there. But that quiet normalization is exactly what worries privacy advocates. According to analysis from Aware, Incorporated, fraudsters are already using AI to generate fake identities, forged documents, and even synthetic biometric artifacts that can pass Know Your Customer checks at scale. The better the systems get, the more sophisticated the attacks become. And the Nigeria example cuts both ways. 1 billion biometric scans creates real operational efficiency and genuine financial inclusion for people who've been locked out of the system. It also creates a surveillance footprint that follows people across their entire lives. Governments gain access to vast quantities of personal data. For compliance professionals, that raises immediate questions about data retention and cross-border sharing. For anyone who's ever scanned their face at an airport or used a fingerprint to log in, it raises a simpler question: who's watching and for how long? Regulatory frameworks are starting to catch up. According to reporting from Demystified Biometrics, new rules are redefining how biometric systems must be designed, deployed, and governed, placing consent, transparency, and auditability at the center. Systems that can demonstrate clear consent, a documented purpose, and an audit trail will earn government and enterprise trust. Systems that can't will face regulatory friction and public backlash. The shift everyone's focused on is better algorithms. That's not what's actually happening. The real shift is that biometric verification is disappearing, not because it's going away, but because it's becoming invisible, woven into everyday moments so seamlessly that most people won't realize how much of their life is being authenticated until they try to opt out. 3 signals are pointing in the same direction. Nigeria is building a system to verify 1 billion identities. Passive liveness detection is making the process so smooth that almost no one drops out. And the global biometrics market is on track to nearly triple in 5 years. Biometric checks are becoming background infrastructure as invisible and as constant as electricity. Whether you're reviewing vendor contracts or just paying for coffee with your face, the question isn't whether this technology will be part of your life. It already is. The question is whether anyone's keeping a receipt. The full story's in the description if you want the deep dive.
Now you know something most people in this industry don't. Use it. And when you're ready to put it to work, caracomp.com. We'll see you tomorrow.